Jesus came so you could have the power or the ability to become sons and daughters of God. What does that really mean? The Message Bible says, but whoever did want him, who believed he was who he claimed he would do what he said, and who he claimed that he would do what he said, he made to be their true selves, their child of God selves. I want to stop right there because Jesus came so that you can have power to be who you really are, but even go a step further than that, to be who God called you to be. He came for you to have the power to access that. The issue that we have is that we don't look at ourselves the way God does. The issue that we have is we look at ourselves through our own eyes, which have been impaired by past hurts, disappointments, failed relationships, bad decisions, others' manipulations, and wrong words spoken into our lives. The reason why we go into worship with songs like that are said is because we look at ourselves through our own eyes, and our own eyes are blurred by our past and our current circumstance. Our own eyes are blurred. We can't really see who we're supposed to be because too many people have described ourselves to ourselves. And we believe their hype. The devil had told us that we're not all that or a bag of chips, and we believed him. And this today in 2020, God says, I want you to recognize yourself, but I come to the realization that you cannot recognize yourself through your own eyes. You can only recognize yourself through God's eyes. What father would not want his child to be the best that they could be? What father would not want their child to excel to a better level than even they have been? What father would not want their child to tap into what is on the inside of them? And what I've come to learn since I am a father, sometimes the child can't see what daddy sees. Sometimes the child can't see what daddy sees. Sometimes we cannot see what God sees. My youngest, Trinity, tried out for a play and cheerleading and came back disappointed because she thought she didn't make it. And I told her, well, hold up, let's just wait and see. Because sometimes you can't see your own potential. You can't see your own ability. You can't see what God sees. So the first thing to do, in order to recognize yourself, you got to look through the Father's eyes. You got to look through the Father's eyes. Because your past disappointments make you think you'll never be able to do anything. Your past hurts and pains make you think you'll never reach a certain level. Your disappointments and the things that have not been accomplished that you thought should be accomplished in this stage of your life will make you think that it would not be accomplished. But God said, hold up, I see more than you see. And God said, I sent my son for several reasons, but one of the primary reasons is that you can be who I called you to be. And you got to look through God's eyes to see who you're really supposed to be. Because, can I propose this to you? God is the only one who has 20/20 vision when it comes to you. Yes, yes, yes. Your friends don't have 20/20 vision when it comes to you. Your spouse sometimes don't even have 20/20 vision when it comes to you. Your significant other, your children definitely don't have 20/20 vision when it comes to you. Only God has 20/20 vision when it comes to you, because he don't look at what you've been through. He looked at what he put in you. He looks at what he puts in you. So can I hit my second point? Life will blur your view of yourself, but life doesn't have the power to affect God's view of you. What are you saying, Pastor? It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't change how God sees you. It doesn't matter how many times you let him down. It doesn't change how God sees you. God said David was a man after his own heart, but I never see in the word where he repented of saying that. And David had another woman's husband killed. And David committed adultery. And David made some bad decisions in numbering the people, but God still, who sees everything about you before he makes a statement about you. Catch that now. Sometimes we won't make a statement about somebody because we haven't seen them, all of them. I tell people who are in relationship, me and First Lady tell them, if you're in a relationship and you think about getting married, you got to see them in all 4 seasons. Because they may be good in the summer, but in the winter they may not be that good. You need to see him in all 4 seasons. But God makes a declaration of who you are before he sees anything that you do, because no matter what you do changes what he says about you. And he said, David is a man after my own heart. God, are you going to repent about that? No, because although he messed up big time, it still does not change. He is a man after my own heart. Although you haven't crossed every I, crossed every T and dotted every I, although you haven't been obedient as you should be, God still says certain things about you. And life will cause you to doubt yourself. And life will make you look yourself in the mirror and you'll tell yourself, I don't recognize this person that I see in the mirror because of everything you've been through. But God looks at you and says, I still see who I made. I still see the child who I'm destined to do great things. And that child does not know this was already part of my plan. But life will have you doubt your ability to recognize who you are. That's why I don't look at myself through my own eyes. Because if I did, I'd never be encouraged. Catch that today. If I looked at myself through my own eyes, I'd never be encouraged to take the next step, because I've always been looking through empowered vision, because I've been affected by what I've been through. And you've been affected by what you've been through. And guess what? Your vision of yourself may never change in your own eyes, but you don't look at yourself in your own eyes. You look through yourself through God's eyes. God, can you still use me with everything I've been through? God, can you still use me with all the dummy moves that I made? God, can you still use me although I've been broken and I feel like I'm not whole anymore? Can you still use me? God said, I ain't never stopped using you. You got to recognize yourself, but you can only do it through the eyes of God. God can see your abilities, talents, and gifts even when you can't. Have you ever, some of you are parents or surrogate parents, you're not the natural parent, but you're the parent God put in place. You're the one that's there. You're not the natural mother, but you're the mother. Y'all ain't gonna help me today. You're not the natural father, but you're the father. And God puts you in place like that because sometimes he lets you see what he sees when they can't see what he sees. Yeah. Sometimes God will let you see in them what they can't see in themselves, so they can see through your eyes because you're looking through God's eyes what they can be. And have you ever had to tell your child, you're better than this? Have you ever had to encourage your child and say, just because this one don't want to be friends with you, that don't mean anything. You're still better than that. They don't dictate who you are. Have you ever had to tell your child, just because they didn't reckon you didn't make this or you didn't get on this team or that didn't happen, doesn't mean it negates who you are? Have you ever had to build something in them that the enemy was trying to take out of them? And God says in 2020, I don't want you to look at yourself like you did in 2019. No. 2019, you look through your tears. 2019, you look through your brokenness. 2019, you looked at life and said, why ain't I here now? God said, don't look at yourself in 2020 like you did in 2019. Look through my eyes because I know where you're going and the abilities that I put in you are still there. And the gifts that you have are still there. See, it's like this. I heard Bishop Hilliard say, he was doing an interview, he said, I had to be successful because I had good genes. What was Bishop Hilliard said? He said, well, I came under Dr. Fred Price. He's my spiritual father, so I couldn't help but be successful because I got good genes. May I propose to you this morning, you can't help but be successful because you got good genes. The scripture says Jesus came to give you power to be the sons and daughters of God. And if he came to give you the power to be the sons and daughters of God, you can't fail because you got good genes. Something on the inside of you won't let you give up because you got good genes. Every time it looks like you're ready to throw in the towel, God says something else to make you get up and stay up and go ahead and do it. Why? Because he is inside of you. You can't look at yourself through your own eyes. You got to look at yourself through the eyes of God. Can I hit point 4 and be out? Pastor, we didn't catch the other 3. Look at the video, you'll get it. Jeremiah, you don't have to turn there, but Jeremiah 18, 1 through 5. God tells Jeremiah, I want you to go down to the potter's house because I'm going to give you a word in the potter's house. And the potter was working a piece of clay. And while he was working on it, it got marred. The Living Translation said it didn't come out the way he thought it was going to come out. And the Bible says that what he did was he crumpled it all up and started over. And then he made a vessel that he wanted. When I look at that scripture, 2 things pop out and then I'm gone. 2 things pop up to me. That no matter how jacked up the clay was, the potter never lost the vision of what the clay was supposed to be. No matter how many times you messed up in 2019, No matter how many times you went in your pity party because of the pain you were feeling, no matter how many times you just said, forget it in 2019, guess what? God never lost the vision that he has for your life. No matter how many times you thought you disappointed God, God still said, I still see you as victorious. I still see you as my child. I still see you at a place that you can't see yourself. No matter how many times you just messed up, it just flat messed up. God said, I never lost my vision of who you are. Guess what? Even when you lost your vision of who you were. If we be honest with ourselves, sometimes we lose who we are because life blurs us, and through the blur you can't really see who you are, and you're trying to figure out, because we're trying to base our success on outside stuff, and sometimes when outside stuff don't work, you feel like you're not successful, and you feel like you're not all this, and you look at yourself and you don't have a happy place about yourself. But God said, it doesn't matter what you've been through or how you've been through it. I never lost my vision of who I knew you would be. The thing about when you work a piece of art, when you see the end result, you don't know if it started out that way. That's right. I'm going to help somebody. The Mona Lisa might not have started out to be the Mona Lisa. Oh, God. Yeah. Some of the greatest works of art may not start out. They started one way and said, that ain't working. And in the midst of that, they changed it. The end result is not always the beginning. And sometimes we're too busy looking at our beginning and we're not realizing God still got the end result. The clay was jacked up, but the potter, look, never stopped working the clay. And the clay might have popped out on this side. And the potter said, that's okay. I'll smooth it this way. And it will jump out this way. He said, I'll smooth it this way. And that ain't even, so let me smooth it this way. That's how you are in God's hands. Every time it looks like he got you one way, you jump out this way and don't do what it tells you. He just said, let me smooth it out. And every time it looks like he got you in one place, you let your disappointments overwhelm you. And he said, no problem. I smooth this out. Because you look like you're trying to get out of shape where God's trying to get you in shape. Oh, God, I wish you could see it the way I feel it. And so when life tries to make you out of shape and irregular, you ever went to the store and got an irregular shirt? Yes. They sell it cheap because it's not like that. God said, I'm not going to sell you cheap. Oh, God. I'll make you who you're supposed to be before I put you up for something cheap. I'll mold you if I got to keep molding you. I'll shape you if I got to keep shaping you. But I never lost my vision of who you are. You got to look at yourself through the eyes of God. But the second thing I saw in this text, as I was reading it, the second thing I saw in this text is that when the potter got through with the clay, nobody knew it had been jacked up. When the potter got through molding it, nobody knew, unless they were there when it happened, that the clay had been marred. When the potter got through with the clay, nobody knew he started over. All they saw was the masterpiece. You're too worried about what you're going through. God said, when I get through with you, nobody's going to know you are marred. When I get through with you, unless they were there at the time, when I get through with you, they're not going to know you were jacked up. When I get through with you, you're not going to look like what you've been through. I really wish I could have got a bunch of mirrors and gave it to you, because God said this. I heard him say this to me. He said, I want you to go home and look yourself in the mirror and then say this, can you see me now? Oh, God, you ain't catch that. You ain't catch. You need to look yourself in the mirror and say, can you see me now? I was jacked up. You got to talk to yourself. I was jacked up. I was messed up. I didn't have nothing really going good for me. But look at me now, and I don't look like what I've been through. And nobody knows the tears I shed, but look what God's done. Nobody knows how many heartaches I had, but look what God's done. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? God said, you need to see yourself now. Stop looking at yourself as the broken piece you were in 2019 and look at yourself as the masterpiece of 2020. Oh, God. Oh, God. Do you know what God really wants to do? Every now and then, when an artist has some work, he puts the art on display. Oh God, will y'all follow me for just a few minutes? I promise, this is Christine, I get out here, I promise. He puts the art on display. And usually he put his best piece in the center of the display, because he wants everybody to see his best work. Nobody knows how many hours he spent putting it together. All they see is the outcome. May I propose to you that God has created his own art show just for you, and you are his centerpiece, and nobody knows the tears you shed, and nobody knows the pain you've been through, and nobody knows the heartache you had, but all they see is the outcome, and you are the most best thing he's made in your life. And they walk by and say, wow, that's amazing. That look good. When you don't know you look good, God will let somebody else let you know you look good. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here today. When you having your own pity party, somebody come by and let you know it's worse for me than it ever been for you, and you will recognize what God has done in your life. Can you see me now? You can't make it in 2020 using the old picture of 2019. Let me help somebody. I realize that every school year they take new school pictures. And we buy them every year. Why do we buy them? Because they don't look like they looked last year. May I propose to you that God's just taking a new picture of you in 2020, and you need to get rid of that 2019 picture? All of us got some pictures we don't want nobody to see. Y'all, they help me preach it here. Yeah, all of us got some pictures we don't want nobody to see, because either you were too young or you were out there or just don't look. You got some pictures you want nobody to see. Don't use that picture. I want you to take a new picture of me. And that's what God is trying to help you do in 2020. That old picture of you that was broken down and hurt and cried and defeated and looked like you can't make it. God said, we can't use that picture for this show. I want to take a new picture of you. Can you see me now? You got to recognize, as I'm getting out here, you got to recognize in 2020 who you are in God, and not who you are in yourself. I'm nothing without God. I still heard my late Bishop Samuel L. Green called the prison, tried to call him a self-made man. Bishop Green never cared who called what. He got up behind him and said, I'm not a self-made man. I'm a God-made man. Everything I got, God gave it to me. But let's take it a step further. Every tear that I came through, every valley that I walked through, every mountain that I climbed, I didn't do it on my own strength or my own ability. It was God that brought me through. And you shortchange the glory of God when you don't take the picture of who you are now. Can you see me now? Don't rest to your feet. I'm getting out of here. Don't rest to your feet. I am getting out of here. God said, this one, throw away your 2019 vision of yourself. Can I help some of you? The last vision you saw of yourself in 2019 was broken. Some of you were crying. Some of you were in pain. Some of you was this. Well, Pastor, what if I was successful? Don't plateau on 2019 success. Go higher than 2020 success. Every company, they look at their 2019 books and say, this is what we did. They closed those books and said, this is what we're going to do. And for some of you were broken, you were hurt, you were in pain. God said, throw that picture away because there's a new thing happening in 2020. But for some of us, we were successful and you're trying to plateau on your old success. And God said, that's not the end. That's just the beginning. Recognize that success, close the book, and let's go higher, because it's a new year and I got new heights for you, new levels for you, new places I need you to go. Stop reminiscing on 2019. Learn from it and move on. But 2020 is my new destiny. And God got a picture of me. Get this, and I'm going to let you go. God got a picture of me that ain't nobody seen yet. I thought you would get a little bit more happier than that. I thought you would get a little bit. What you mean? God got a picture of me that nobody's seen yet. And this picture of me is better than any picture he's ever taken of me. Because every year he wants to take me high. God got a picture of you in his vision, in his imagination of you that's greater than any imagination or picture that you have of yourself. And so I can't look at myself through my own eyes. I got to let God whisper in my ear and tell me everything you've been through has brought you to this place to make you this picture that I'm about to take of you. You were crying over the crier, oh God. You were crying over the tears. God says, shout because of the tears, because it's going to make you who I wish I could get somebody. Shout over the tears. It's made you who I want to make the picture of you now. Can I close on this? Can I close on this? We were talking before service about Dr. Evans and the passing of his wife, Lois Evans. She passed on December the 30th. December the 31st, he preached the New Year's Eve service. He preached despite of loss. And he preached the message. She died on the 30th. He preached 2 messages on the 31st. And Dr. Evans said, God is God. And he said, I don't agree with it, but I can't question God. But then he said in the same breath, if I didn't have Jesus, I wouldn't be able to make it through what I'm going through now. And I told Elder, Dr. Evans gave us an example of how it's supposed to be done. How it's supposed to be done. And he made this statement. He said, she asked me to let her go. And I said, I can't do that. And she said to me, Dr. Evans said, she said to me, don't be selfish. Don't try to keep me here when God wants me with him. And then he came and gave God glory. The day after, I don't know if I would have preached that night. I don't know if I would have preached the next Sunday. But what are you saying, Pastor? God showed us through her passing the strength he can give you to do anything. You've been through some stuff, but God has given you strength to go through it on the other side. And in her passing and in his sacrifice of preaching, I don't know how many souls was blessed to say, I can still go on. How many people gonna see you in 2020 and say, hey, because of how you look now, I can still go on. Don't look at yourself through your own eyes. Look at yourself through the eyes of God. Give him a praise right there. Lift those hands and we're going to go. Father, I thank you. I preached this with everything I could preach it with. And with every ability that you're giving me. I just pray that they'll see this revelation of no longer looking at themselves through their own eyes, but looking at themselves through your eyes, because what you see is so much greater than who we are right now. And I praise you for who I am now, but I'm going to praise you a little harder for who I'm about to be. For Father, eyes have not seen, and ears have not heard, and neither has it entered into my own conscience what you're about to make me. My past will no longer dictate my future. My pain will no longer allow me to draw a picture of myself. I now ask the Holy Ghost to take my hand and draw myself for me, because who I am is greater than who I see now. I thank you for that revelation. I recognize myself now. And from this time forward, I no longer put myself down as this or that, but I look through your eyes and say, I am who I am because of the grace of God. I thank you for that now. I bless your name for it now. Father, as we leave this place, but most never from thy presence, keep us as apples of thy own eye. Protect us from all hurt, harm, and danger as we travel to our several destinations. And we who do love thee so, we give you the glory, the praise, and all the honor. For it is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Would you greet somebody and tell them, can you see me now?